A lot of Nigerians woke up shocked after reports began spreading online that a state in the United States, specifically Georgia, had allegedly recognized Nnamdi Kanu as an honorary citizen and even named him a Goodwill Ambassador while he remains in detention in Nigeria. For many people, the story sounded unbelievable at first. How could a man facing an ongoing legal battle in Nigeria suddenly receive recognition from officials linked to America? And why is this development creating so much discussion across social media, political circles, and among Nigerians at home and abroad? What makes the story even more attention-grabbing is the symbolism behind it. Nnamdi Kanu has remained one of the most controversial and influential figures connected to the agitation for Biafra, and anything involving his name instantly sparks emotional reactions from different sides. Now, with reports claiming that people connected to the US state of Georgia honored him despite his current situation, many Nigerians are asking whether this is simply symbolic recognition from individuals or something that could carry deeper political meaning. Before we go deeper, if you enjoy balanced discussions like this, where we break down major Nigerian stories in a calm and understandable way, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who wants to stay informed. And most importantly, drop your own opinion in the comments because this is one of those stories Nigerians clearly have strong feelings about. Now, to understand why this issue is gaining attention, we first need to look at who Nnamdi Kanu is and why his case has remained so sensitive for years. Kanu is widely known as the leader of IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, a group that has campaigned for the independence of Biafra from Nigeria. Supporters describe him as a freedom advocate, speaking for people who feel politically marginalized in parts of the southeast. Critics, however, accuse him of promoting division and contributing to tensions in the country. His legal troubles have lasted for years and have involved multiple court appearances, government accusations, international debates, and repeated calls for either his release or stricter prosecution. Since his return to Nigeria under controversial circumstances in 2021, his detention has remained a major topic both locally and internationally. Different court rulings, government appeals, and political discussions have kept the matter alive in public conversation. So when reports emerged that individuals associated with the US state of Georgia allegedly honored him with certificates recognizing him as an honorary citizen and Goodwill Ambassador, reactions exploded almost immediately online. Some people saw it as proof that Kanu's message has international supporters. Others questioned whether the recognition was officially tied to the US government or simply a symbolic action carried out by local community representatives. That distinction is very important. In the United States, different cities, counties, and states sometimes issue symbolic proclamations or honorary recognitions to public figures, activists, entertainers, religious leaders, and community organizers. These recognitions do not automatically represent the official foreign policy position of the US government. In many cases, they are ceremonial gestures meant to acknowledge influence, advocacy, or community impact as perceived by the issuing body. According to local accounts circulating online, the recognition connected to Georgia reportedly came through a proclamation linked to officials or community representatives in the state. Supporters of Kanu quickly celebrated the development, presenting it as evidence that his situation is drawing international sympathy beyond Nigeria's borders. Videos and photos shared online showed documents allegedly bearing seals and signatures as associated with Georgia institutions. Some supporters claimed the recognition proved that global attention is increasing regarding Kanu's detention and the broader southeast political situation in Nigeria. But at the same time, critics urged caution. Some Nigerians questioned the exact source of the proclamation and whether it represented a major governmental position or simply a ceremonial community-level recognition. Others argued that social media users were exaggerating the significance of the development by presenting it as if the entire United States government had officially endorsed Kanu, which does not appear to be the case based on available public information. And honestly, this is where things become very important for viewers to understand carefully. In international politics, symbolism matters a lot. Even a small recognition from local officials abroad can become a powerful public relations tool, especially in highly emotional political movements. Supporters may use such recognition to strengthen morale and international visibility, while opponents may dismiss it as politically insignificant. Both reactions are already happening right now. What also makes the situation interesting is the timing. Nigeria is already facing multiple national conversations involving security challenges, economic pressure, regional tensions, and political disagreements. So any international development involving a figure as controversial as Nnamdi Kanu automatically becomes national news. Some political observers believe the story could increase pressure on Nigerian authorities to manage the situation carefully. Others believe it may have little direct effect on the legal process itself because Nigerian courts ultimately operate according to Nigerian law. But regardless of where people stand politically, the story has successfully drawn fresh global attention to Kanu's ongoing case. There is also another side to this conversation that many Nigerians abroad have been discussing quietly for years. The Nigerian diaspora, especially in countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada, plays a major role in shaping international awareness about issues happening back home. Diaspora groups organize rallies, awareness campaigns, fundraising efforts, media interviews, and lobbying activities focused on Nigerian political matters. So supporters of IPOB and pro-Biafra campaigns have been especially active internationally over the years. They have built online networks, organized protests abroad, and consistently tried to frame the movement as one connected to self-determination and human rights. Critics strongly disagree with their methods and messaging, but nobody can deny that the movement has built an international media presence. That international visibility is one reason stories like this spread very fast. The moment a foreign recognition or statement appears connected to Kanu, supporters amplify it across social media platforms, blogs, WhatsApp groups, and YouTube channels. Within hours, millions of Nigerians begin debating what it means, and you can already see how divided reactions are. Some Nigerians are celebrating the news emotionally, saying it shows that the world is paying attention. Others are dismissing it completely, arguing that honorary recognitions happen regularly in America and do not necessarily translate into political influence or diplomatic pressure. There are also Nigerians who are simply tired of the political divisions and want a peaceful resolution to the long-running tensions in the southeast. Many ordinary citizens in the region have suffered economic disruptions, insecurity concerns, and fear connected to years of unrest and sit-at-home tensions. For them, the focus is less about symbolic international gestures and more about practical peace, dialogue, stability, and economic recovery. Another reason this story is attracting attention is because of the relationship between Nigeria and the United States. Nigeria remains one of America's most important African partners economically, diplomatically, and strategically. So anytime a controversial Nigerian political figure receives attention linked to American institutions, people naturally start asking whether it could affect diplomatic conversations. At the moment, there is no indication that this honorary recognition changes official U.S. foreign policy toward Nigeria or toward Kanu's legal case. That is important to say clearly. However, symbolic gestures can still influence public discussion and media narratives, especially among diaspora communities and human rights groups. Interestingly, this is not the first time international figures or organizations have commented on Kanu's situation. Over the years, different groups and activists have raised concerns about legal procedures, detention conditions, and broader human rights questions connected to the case. Nigerian authorities, on the other hand, have repeatedly maintained that the matter is a legal and security issue being handled through the country's judicial process. And this balance between national sovereignty and international attention is exactly why stories like this become so sensitive. Some Nigerians feel foreign actors should not interfere in domestic matters. Others believe international attention is necessary whenever human rights or political freedoms are being debated. For younger Nigerians especially, social media has changed how political influence works. A symbolic certificate issued thousands of kilometers away can instantly become headline news in Lagos, Enugu, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kano, and beyond. Memes begin circulating, political arguments explode online, and people start interpreting the event according to their own beliefs and frustrations. That is exactly what we are witnessing now. Some supporters are calling the Georgia recognition a historic embarrassment for Abuja because they believe it increases international sympathy for Kanu. Others strongly reject that interpretation and argue that online reactions are overblown. And somewhere in the middle are millions of Nigerians simply trying to separate facts from emotion. One thing viewers should always remember is that online political discussions can quickly become exaggerated. It is important to verify claims carefully and distinguish between official government positions, ceremonial recognitions, activist campaigns, and social media interpretations. Those are not always the same thing. Still, whether people support Kanu or oppose him, the fact that his name continues generating international headlines years into his detention shows how influential and polarizing the issue remains. Very few Nigerian political figures can trigger this level of emotional debate both inside and outside the country. And the bigger question now is whether developments like this will have any practical impact going forward. Will it increase international attention on the case? Will it strengthen support among his followers? Will it change anything legally? Or will it simply become another viral political moment that fades after a few news cycles? At this stage, nobody can say for certain. But what is clear is that the conversation around Nnamdi Kanu is far from over. As more reactions continue coming in from political groups, analysts, supporters, and critics, Nigerians will keep debating what this recognition truly represents. Some will see it as symbolic validation, others will see it as political theater, and many will simply hope for solutions that reduce tension and promote peace across the country. If you've stayed with me this far, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this discussion so more people can hear the full context instead of just social media headlines. And in the comments section, tell us honestly, do you think this Georgia recognition is a major international statement, or do you believe people are reading too much into it? Your opinion matters, and respectful discussion is always welcome here. At the end of the day, stories like this remind us how connected the world has become. A political figure sitting in detention in Nigeria can suddenly become part of a global conversation involving diaspora communities, foreign institutions, and international media attention all at once. The real challenge now is making sure discussions stay informed, calm, and focused on facts rather than pure emotion. Stay informed, stay thoughtful, and keep following the conversation because this story may still develop further in the days ahead.